Hi you guys, it's Dara, and I have something funny to tell you. My mom, when growing up, I heard her say many times, never, I'm just making it a little lighter, never trust a woman who doesn't fluctuate. Think about that. Think about how life fluctuates. Think about the moon and how it affects the ocean, and the tide comes in, tide goes out. We are moon beings as women. We're yin. We are affected by the cycles, the seasons, our cycles, other people's cycles. And weight gain is so much more than just fat or being heavier on the scale. It's so much more than what we think it is. All these people thinking, oh, I gotta go on a diet. Well, I'm telling you, I've never gone on a diet. I won't go on a diet. I don't like diets, which is the funniest thing, because you could say I'm like all about the raw food diet, but I'm not. I never like to call it a diet, because diet sounds like restriction. Diet sounds like deprivation. Diet sounds like that's not going to be any fun, and I'm not going to feel love, and I'm not going to feel happy, and I'm not going to feel juicy. And so I prefer to say, okay, perhaps I put on a little bit. Perhaps I've been in the mode of not moving my body as much, or maybe I've been emotionally eating, and maybe I'm going to figure out why this happened, so then I can correct it or modify. So we moderate ourselves, we modify, we can see, oh, I've gone a little bit too far in this direction. Just like I just said in the latest YouTube video, like we're never really in the middle all the time. Are we at our perfect optimal weight all the time? I'm saying that whatever weight we're at is our optimal weight. Whatever clutter we have is optimal for this minute, so that we can realize, I gathered clutter in my love area because I really do want to protect myself. Or I put a picture of myself alone in my love area because I really do want to protect myself. Or hey, I put on a little weight because I might not want to be attractive to the opposite sex right now. I put on a little weight because energetically there's somebody near me that's making me nuts, and weight is like a layer that can protect us. It's like energy sensitives all the time. You'll see psychics and astrologers and people who are energy sensitive beings do have a lot of weight on them. They absorb other people's negative energies. They put on weight maybe so as a form of protection. So we want to first, before we talk about losing weight, which I would prefer to call getting to our optimal weight at the moment, we want to talk about what the heck happened in the first place? What did we stop doing for ourselves? Why did we stop doing those things for ourselves? Who did we put first, right? Who did we put first? What experience happened that kind of sent us into that state? And I do want to talk about emotionally eating. I made a video on YouTube called Why People Get Fat on a Raw Food Diet. And I think it's one of my #1 videos with like thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views. And I think it's funny because at that particular moment, I was really lean, my belly's showing, and I'm not really big right now, but I'm definitely a little heavier than I was. And I was running out the door to do a talk at Whole Foods at the Fairfax store. And I was like, I just wanted to touch on that subject. And it's interesting because I was talking about the emotional reasons why people may get fat on a raw food diet. Like, we can get fat for a number of reasons that go beyond our food. Obviously, if we're eating, fat and sugar all day and we're not moving our bodies and we're just sedentary, we can gain weight. But there's so many more reasons for it that, there's physical reasons, like people who are malnutrition keep eating because their bodies are not getting the signal that they're full. There is actually a medical disorder also that people should be aware of, that some people don't have the proper stomach signal receptors to, and that's not terminology, medical terminology, but they don't have the receptors, the proper receptors that let your brain know that you're full. And then there's also people who unfortunately are eating food that's available in this country that is not of the highest order. I wouldn't even consider it food. It does not have nutritional value. All the processed fast food and things that are available for inexpensive in this country, and other countries as well, but particularly in the United States. And it's just not food. It's food. It's product food designed to make money. It's product food designed to sell a lot and make you come back for more. So it has things in it that make you want it again and again. And it is, unfortunately, I believe, designed as part of our system, where, you know, we end up, hopefully not us, but people do end up with bad diets. Then they have high cholesterol, and instead of fixing the diet, any doctor should just say you could easily fix high cholesterol with a high raw food diet. So easy. It's like the #1 fixable thing, but you know what they do? Instead they give, and I'm not going to name the particular medicine, but they give you a pharmaceutical to fix your cholesterol. And then think about this. Your liver is there to detoxify, to filter out toxins. But when we put pharmaceuticals, and unless they're totally needed, the pharmaceutical, and even when needed, the pharmaceutical is going to tax the liver, so that when other things need to be filtered, and there's things out in our environment that are wittingly put in and unwittingly, like we can't control the pollution or off-gassing of certain things, of new carpets and paints and whatever chemicals, formaldehydes are in the pressboard furniture and this and that we're not aware of, that we get in our bodies. Guess what? Our liver does the job of getting rid of those chemicals. And so if we put more chemicals in, which is what pharmaceuticals are, the liver's further taxed. And the kidneys start to fail, and then you get kidney medicine. So you have the high cholesterol medicine, you have the kidney medicine poorly affects the heart medicine poorly affects the kidney, and then you're just in the system of like this spiral of you're going to end up doctors, pills, then eventually you're just in the system, and the system makes money. So obviously what I say is fruits and vegetables, love, decluttering. You know, my whole thing is about preventing disease. Like, I show you what I do, but the underlying thing is like, it's an emergency. It's an emergency because people are getting sick left and right. And I don't believe we need to get old and get really, really sick and then die. I think it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, look at Herbie, my dad, who went organic vegan at 85. And he's not in any pain anymore, and he's super, super healthy, and he's happy. So as far as the things that, you know, I went off on a tangent about, you know, pharmaceuticals and whatever, but the whole thing is that you eat the fruits and vegetables, a high raw diet, you start to want to move your body more, and then you get to your optimal weight. And what happens if you're eating healthy? It's so funny, like under the healthy umbrella, you could still do things that are not in your highest order. So never mind, let's say that you don't have that physical thing and your stomach receptors are working properly, and you know that maybe you're not eating in the highest order for yourself. And so what I'm saying about identifying the reason is that, and what I said in that video about why people get fat on a raw food diet, is that there are psychological reasons why there could be sexual abuse, so you want to cover up your sexuality. You might be afraid of your own sexuality, and you might be married, and you don't want to be attracted to the opposite sex because you're going to get yourself into trouble. Maybe your husband wants you to be heavy, and he encourages that kind of eating behavior because he's afraid you'll leave him. Maybe when we know we're at our optimal health, we're going to be so light and so fantastic that we may not stay in the same relationship. There's a zillion relationships that break up when one person goes raw or gets healthy and the other person stays where they are, right? If somebody stops an addiction to alcohol, even cigarettes, and the partner that you're with smokes and drinks, there's different wavelengths. You're just simply not going to be able to be on the same wavelength. So the person who doesn't want you to leave them wants, sometimes subconsciously, sabotages your new way of being. And we know, and we don't want to give up our heart's desire. If we love that person, maybe we're afraid to go up here because they're going to stay down here, and we know it won't work. So there's a lot of people who numb themselves and dumb themselves down with food, with alcohol, with not body movement, with not doing the best things ever, because they're afraid of losing their love, right? And then being alone. And, you know, I understand, right? I understand that. My daughter has moved to Florida. My mom passed away. You know, I just had a situation that I had to exit, and you know, there's this feeling like, wow, what would it be like to really be alone? Am I going to be okay? And the answer is yes, right? But so why do we put weight on, right? We might do that. That might be one of the reasons. We might be sad, and we might try to comfort ourselves with food because we're gonna like numb ourselves. Like did you ever remember when you're hungry? Did you ever fast for a day or half a day? Or like when you're hungry, you're awake. And when you eat raw food, you're still awake. And I don't mean raw food cheesecake. I mean like a plate of zucchini noodles lightly dressed with olive oil and salt. Like when you eat light, you're more awake. You can feel things more. And when there's things going around us personally, planetarily, sometimes we put on weight just to make because we're eating, because we're numbing, because we might feel too much. So I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing. I don't think we should beat ourselves up when, as my mom says, we fluctuate, right? When we start to notice it goes a little too far, well, then we can say, hey, let's see, I'm gonna remember what Dara said, and I'm gonna have her on my shoulder, and I might just sit on the floor or lie on the floor and do some leg lifts, right? And I might watch some videos and I'll do some leg lifts. Then I might do some sit-ups, right? And that's all. And then you start moving your body. You do some neck rolls, you do some arm lifts, you do some stretches, and we start getting back in our bodies, and we forgive ourselves. We forgive ourselves our trespassing, because we are emotional beings, and we do live under the moon and the stars, and we do have people around us who are affecting us. And then we take responsibility. Then we say, wow, look what I've done. And this is why I've done it. Fill in the blank. And this is what I'm going to do about it, a little bit at a time. And I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make my food mindfully, music playing. I'm gonna make it look beautiful. I've been adding edible flowers from my garden. I just found out you can grow borage, B-O-R-A-G-E. It's purple or white flowers in a pot in your house. Someone just posted that on Snapchat. So you can, or More with Dara, I forget. Join More with Dara. It's getting really great over there. It looks exactly like my website. It's clean, fresh, and bright. Brooks has fixed it. He's in there decluttering. I'm getting decluttering help. It's so exciting. So with shedding things, let's say you go through this massive decluttering thing. Maybe you're like, I gotta hold on because like I might fly away if everything gets too light. So I'm kind of thinking I put on a couple pounds, and you know, my jeans are kind of tight, and there's a whole bunch of jeans that I'm not wearing because they're too tight, and I'm wearing the baggier things, and I'm thinking, well, I don't dislike the way I look. I'm not unhappy with myself, but I want to check it before it goes too far. So what I do is say, I just went through some tricky things emotionally. It was kind of hard that my daughter left, and I just kind of had a breakup, and that really doesn't feel so good. And how cute that I've been eating a little more, or how cute that I've been so much more into food, and isn't that nice? I've been making gorgeous food. So I'm gonna move my body a little more. I'm not gonna worry about losing weight. I don't mind how I am, but I just would like to feel a little stronger, a little more toned, a little more in my body. And we must use our bodies because we want to, when we do cardio, work on our cardio, not only does it mean that we can run if we need to run, that our heart is in good condition, and emotionally we want our heart in good condition, right? We want our heart to be strong and big, and we want our legs to be strong and fit so they can carry us, and we want our posture to be good. And we know when we work out, we're lighter, right? I keep slouching because the camera's low. So we want to sit up straight. We want to stand up straight. We want to work on the strength in our arms. We maybe don't want to get the, we want to be in our bodies. We don't have to be perfect. Nobody needs us to be perfect, but we want to feel our best. So we can talk about why we put on the weight. We can understand and love ourselves for it. We can make some moves towards making soups and smoothies. So get the Soups and Smoothies ebook, because that is the answer to the question that everybody asks me, not everybody, but when people ask me, how do I start eating healthy? I would always, for the past 11 years, say, do you have a high performance blender? And at that point, I had to suggest a Vitamix or a Blendtec, which was like $500. But now I can say, get the NutriBullet, and it's like 100 and something, and you can blend your kale. So I have a Soups and Smoothies book that is the answer to that question. If you make a soup or a smoothie every day, you will start to lose weight. I suggest getting chia seeds as well. So then we've identified why we've done it. We've hugged ourselves. We understand. We think we're so cute. Oh, isn't that cute? Look what I've done for myself, because I contracted on this weight to protect myself from something. And now I feel safe, because we are safe, and I'm going to let it go. So I'm going to start that on more with Dara. I'm going to start a letting go of what doesn't serve us, not only with the belongings, not only with bad food, but with also the weight. We're gonna let go. It's time to let go of what doesn't serve us and to be our lightest selves possible. So we let go of toxic food, toxic relationships. We let go of toxic belief patterns and thoughts for ourselves. And in the end, we get to forgive ourselves and other people who may have contributed to the state that we're in. And the biggest thing, I think, to be honest, is loving ourselves, because food isn't a bad thing. Food is the most amazing, nourishing. It's the way we love our families. It's the way we love ourselves. Food comes from the earth. It's love for us. An apple from a tree. Bake it, don't bake it, cut it, cinnamon, little almond. There's so many things you can do that are so gorgeous, so delicious, so nurturing, and so loving. So what I say is we love the parts of our bodies, we love ourselves, and we go about the business of saying, I understand why I did it. Oh, that's so cute, charming. I don't need to do that anymore, and let's get about the business. Let's all hold hands in this and let go of what doesn't serve us, so we can be light, productive, creative beings. And that does not mean we don't get to eat food. We get to eat all the food, all the beautiful food. If you're going to emotionally eat happily. So Brooks was telling me, he fixed more with Dara, and he said, can you talk about, why not talk about, we know what it's like to emotionally eat when we're emotionally eating negatively, but what about emotionally eating when you're happy? Like, what do you do then when you're happy? Then you get to say, hey, I am feeling so good right now that I am going to add spirulina to my salad dressing that I saw Dara make. And I am going to add probiotics to that coconut yogurt that I bought, and I'm gonna let it ferment a little bit because I wanna add healthy flora. I have been making dishes with color, like I'm not just doing a plain green soup and a plain green salad, which I was always fine with the plain greens. I love greens, they're so beautiful, but now I'm slicing turmeric. Like it's little carrots, no big deal. Turmeric is not something you have to juice. You can eat it, you can slice it, you can shave it, right? Over your salad. I have something red, I'll have tomatoes, you could put strawberries, or red pepper, I'll put purple if I can find it, a purple carrot, a purple flower, any colors. If you make this gorgeous dish that has enough olive oil, I'm practicing with different flavors, rosemary infused olive oil. I'll use a little bit of Kite Hill cream cheese, and I'll put that in to make it kind of creamy. If you have fun with your food, the right food, the good food, and you make it appealing to yourself enough, then eventually as you go down the road of eating this way, you do end up lightening up on the fats, and you don't need such decadent things. But if you're going from this heavy diet of standard American food, the SAD diet, to something glorious like what I'm showing you, then I'm gonna recommend that you make it as gorgeous and as appealing to yourself as possible, so that it becomes a luxury and a celebration, that these plates that I'm making, you can see on Instagram, have color. They're like a party, and it just looks so gorgeous and so tantalizing, and it's a celebration, not a deprivation. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna identify why we did it. We're gonna forgive ourselves, forgiveness. We're gonna love ourselves by moving our bodies and eating beautifully, and share with others. And that's what we're gonna do. So we'll talk about it more here. We'll talk about it on More with Dara. But letting go is the step to do to welcome in, right? So we're letting go of weight, but we're welcoming in our lighter self. So I would have to say that we don't call it weight. We just are going to say we're lightening up, and we're going to be freedom. So I think that's enough for today. I love you guys. Get some movement on, some neck rolls, some arm lifts, some twists, and do something fun. I'm gonna take myself and probably us to the beach to give a little walk to start that process. And I will see you guys soon. So get your greens on and your weight off. Get your greens on and your love in.